Let me share something real with you. Over time, I noticed most of my problems were not about money, people, or situations. They were about how I react, how I think, and how I lived daily. These are 14 simple life lessons that changed how I see life. One, control what you can. I noticed that most of the stress I had in my life was coming from things I couldn't control, people's behavior, timing, and how situations plays out. I would think about it over and over, hoping it will change, but nothing ever did. And it clicked for me that the only real control I have is over my action and how I react. Then I started focusing on that instead. My mind became calmer and decisions got better. I stopped trying to control everything and just handled what was in my hand. The second thing I learned is your mind is the real problem. I realized that a lot of the things that I thought were destroying me weren't that actually serious. What was draining me was how much time I spent thinking about them. I would replay situations in my head, imagine worst case outcomes, and talk to myself in a negative way. Nothing outside was getting worse, but inside my head, everything felt heavy. Once I became aware of how I was thinking, I understood that changing my mindset was more powerful than trying to change every situation. Third is discipline over motivation. I used to wait until I felt motivated before doing what I said I would do, and that made me very inconsistent. Let me give you this example. I used to rely on my friend to go to the gym. If he was ready, I was ready. If he traveled and didn't feel like going, I stay at home too. So my progress wasn't really in my control. It depended on someone else's mood. That's when I realized motivation is not reliable. Discipline is. Now, even on days I don't feel like showing up, doing the work anyway is what keeps my life moving forward. Once I stopped depending on motivation and people, consistency became easier. Number four, comfort slows you down. I noticed that anytime my life became too comfortable, my growth slows down. Nothing was wrong, but nothing was really improving either. Comfort made me choose what was easy instead of what was necessary. Okay, for example, choosing sleep over the gym, choosing TV over reading, choosing scrolling over sitting with my thoughts. None of these things are bad on their own, but when comfort becomes your lifestyle, progress quietly disappears. That's when I understood that growth usually feels uncomfortable. 5. Ego is the enemy. Ego is tricky because it doesn't always look like pride. For me, it showed up as thinking I already knew enough and not listening properly when people tried to correct me. Sometimes it even showed up as refusing to admit I was wrong. Problem with ego is that it stops you from learning. And the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. So once I became more open to feedback and corrections, my progress became faster and cleaner. Sixth lesson, time is more valuable than money. Time is more valuable than money because you don't feel it living. It disappears quietly through small habits. Scrolling before you sleep, unnecessary conversations, days without directions. Over time, I learned to be intentional with my time. Started focusing on longevity, on what actually moves my life forward. That meant saying no to clubs and unnecessary invitations. Not because they are bad, but because my time is limited. Say money can be recovered, but once time is gone, it's gone for good. 7. Accept reality fast. I used to spend a lot of energy complaining about situations I couldn't change. Blame, timing, people, and circumstances. Thinking that complaining would somehow help. It didn't. All it did was keep me stuck. When I started accepting reality for what it is and asking myself, okay, this is where I am, and what's the next move? Things became clearer. Acceptance didn't make life easy, but it makes moving forward possible. 8. Prepare before life tests you. Life doesn't announce when it's about to test you. Pressure just shows up. And I noticed that when something hard came suddenly, my reaction depended on how disciplined I was before that moment. If I didn't build structure in my daily life, then small problem would feel heavy. And that's when I understood that strength is built quietly long before it's needed. 9. Pause before you react. I learned that most mistakes in life don't come from bad intentions. They come from fast reactions, speaking when emotions are high, making decisions when you are tired or frustrated, responding immediately instead of thinking first. I noticed that, and during critical moments, I started giving myself a moment to pause. My decisions became cleaner and I avoided a lot of regrets. 10. Focus on character, not result. For a long time, I measured my life by results, what I achieved, what I got, and how fast things move. But I noticed that chasing results alone made me cut corners and rush the process. When I shifted my focus to character, doing the right thing even when nobody is watching, consistency followed naturally. Results come and go, but who you become stays. 11. Learn from mistakes. Mistakes became easier to deal with when I stopped running from them. Instead of ignoring them or blaming others, I started asking what the lesson was. I realized that life repeats lessons until you learn them. Reflection turned mistake into guidance, and that helped me move forward with more clarity. 12. Simple life, clear mind. Anytime my life became crowded, my mind became noisy too. Too many apps, too many opinions, too many plans pulling me in different directions. Simplifying my life helped me think clearly again. When I reduced the noise around me, focus came back. 13. Remember, life is short. Time moves faster than we expect. Days turn into years. Understanding that life is short pushed me to stop postponing important things and start living with intention instead of waiting for the perfect moment. 14. And the last, do your best, then let go. I learned that my responsibility is effort, not control. Once I focused on doing my best and stopped carrying outcomes on my head, my mind felt lighter. Peace came from knowing I had done my part. These lessons are simple, but they are not easy. If you practice them daily, your life will become clearer, smarter, and more disciplined. Subscribe to my channel to see more of my documentary.